Hello and welcome to Sacred Foundations. This is our July 2023 reading. I'm Julia Frainer with Soul Space Studio with my friend and partner in crime, or Sacred Foundation facilitator, co-facilitator, Jill Chesrow. Jill, how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. I love seeing you back at your home there with the beautiful background.
Thank you. Yeah, it feels good to be back on the land, and I just love being surrounded by nature this way. It's such a difference too, contrast being in the woods of the Pacific Northwest versus the desert of the Southwest. So beautiful. It's a beautiful contrast. It's life in general, huh?
You are quite the Sag traveler. I love it. Love
Yeah.
it. So I'd say we're both in our own homes right now, but you have multiple homes. So, but yeah, so we are both not with our children and our
And our
grandchildren.
grandbabies. Yes. So yeah, there's a little bit of recoup time when we do that, isn't there? Our hearts are always with those babies, but yes.
Yes.
It's good to see you, Jill. Kick it off. Tell us about the spread and give us the usual disclaimer, if you will.
All right. So I am going to share my screen. See the cards?
Yep, there they are.
Nothing else. If you joined us last month, you will know that we were not on the camera because I recorded personal information, and yeah, we couldn't show that information. So it was just a picture of the cards and our voices. So thank you for being patient with us as we work through technology. All right, so every month, for those of you that might be new to the Sacred Foundations reading, we pull a message for the month, and we use the Cross of Truth card spread with two specific decks that Julia and I were co-collaborators in, the Awakening to Your Divine Self deck and the Priestesses of the New Earth deck. So Julia has her decks combined, and then I have pile swished all over the floor of one deck, and then the other deck, and then I just pull intuitively. So we most often will have a reading that spans both of the decks that play nice together and just really grow and expand and evolve on each other. So there is that. So there is specific positions to these card readings. So what Julia and I want to do is we want to share the information that is most beneficial to us at this time as we develop and deepen our sacred foundation to, living the life from our true authentic self. And we're going to share what we see and what we intuitively get information from. And we want you to, tap into your own inner wisdom and see and hear the message from the cards themselves for you. So take what resonates with you and let the rest go. If one of us says something that you're like, oh, that's not for me, or, if you're not sure, maybe put it on a mental shelf and revisit it. But if you want to, before we even dive into our interpretations of the frequency messages from these cards, is pause the video and look at them right now. If you can see my mouse moving, this card here is the first card. This is the theme of the month. The middle cards are your hopes or fears, or how you really feel about the theme of the month. Then this third card is your helpful energy. The fourth card is potential obstacle energy. And then the last card is answer, outcome, advice card that you read in relation to all of the other cards, right? So if you want to pause the video, you want to see what jumps out at you, look at the titles of the cards, the colors, the images, and see if you get your own kind of message first. That's awesome. We encourage you to do that. If you prefer to hear what we have to share first, and then, pause the video and reflect on the cards, then do that. So you do you and whatever feels right and correct for you, but nothing replaces your own inner wisdom. So I just wanted to share that right off the bat. The other thing I want to share is, even though we are doing this reading in July of 2023, it's a timeless reading. So if you end up hearing this message at a different, date, time, year, then just take the message as it's going to be relevant for you in that moment. Julia, did I say all that in a way that makes sense?
Absolutely did. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you.
All right. So so sometimes Julia and I, get a very similar message, and sometimes we get different messages. It comes through our perception the way that it does in service to you. So did you want me to go ahead and jump into the reading?
Yeah, if you're comfortable with that, go right ahead.
All right. So Julia goes deep when she does a reading. I'm going to do a little bit of a surface reading, and then she's going to, either tie it together or expand on it or add her beautiful magic to it. So, all right. So for the first card, we see the card unfolding. So this is really, there's movement in this card. There's this dance with the universe, right? We've got these three images here. I see body, mind, and spirit. So there's this unfolding, there's this movement, there's this expansion. It's like dancing with the universe. So if that's the theme of this month, this movement, this unfolding, then we move to the second cards, which again are either our hopes and or our fears, or how we really feel about this unfolding. So we've got this luminosity, right? So again, I see fire in that card. When the creator of the card actually created the image and the messages, there were wildfires in California. So there's this fire, there's this movement, there's this transmutation of energy, right? So we want to make sure that we are aligned with our inner fire, and it's not burning too much, and it's not burning too little. So there's that sacred balance for you as you are in this unfolding. Now, that can be scary for some. Some people don't want to shine too bright, right? We've got our final card here, Rise and Shine. So maybe reflect a little bit on, is my fire burning in a way that serves and supports me at this point in my life? Do I have any fears around, my fire burning too brightly? Is it too dim? Play with that, see what makes sense for you. The next card is, what does that say? StarLight Essence. So I love it that the creator of this card, this is actually her in the middle of this card. So this is really about embodying your true essence and shining it out into the world, right? There's this true essence of you, and there's this standing in this power, and then she brings in the beautiful imagery of the whale here. So you may want to tap in and see if whale medicine has any additional insight for you. But basically, it's about this standing in your own true essence. And again, that's shining your light, and it's being authentic to you, whether other people around you like it or not. It's not permission to be a jerk and, be mean or like whatever, but standing in your power is it's a beautiful place to be, and at the same time can be uncomfortable for other people, but that's really kind of their problem, right? Unless you're being a jerk, and that's a different story. So we've got this energy here in the middle of this card, which I love. So then we move over here to Shaman Dreaming as the helpful energy card. And I want you to take note that you've got the universe here in the body of this image. You've got the universe all over here, and you've got the universe back here. One could say this is kind of a universal background as well. So Shaman Dreaming, the shaman or the priest or the priestess is the medicine carrier of the tribe, or the individual as well. So it's a bridge between the upper world, the lower world, and then we're here in the middle world. So this is, again, to me, talking about, just standing in your own personal power as a bridge between heaven and earth. So this is helpful energy. There's cosmic energy supporting you. Your higher self is supporting you. Your masters, teachers, loved ones, angels, and guides. The unseen world is supporting you as you stand in your own personal power. So that's a huge. So tapping into your shaman energy. For those that go on shamanic journeying, whether guided by a facilitator, guided by audio meditation, or your own drumming, you may want to consider doing some type of shamanic journey if that's something that you're comfortable with. And maybe it's a practice that you had for a while as you were deepening your sacred foundations and you got away from it. This is an invitation for you to consider doing some shamanic journeying. Okay. Now we move to the obstacle energy over here, which is primal source. And just a little shout out to my daughter, created this card. Fascinating story behind this card that I'll love to share one day. But so as far as this reading goes, you know, this to me as an obstacle energy is being connected to the above and the below. And because it's an obstacle energy, you're being invited to look at where are you not? Where are you not grounded, maybe? Where are you not connected to the above? Are you doing one over the other, right? Some people are too grounded and they're not as connected to their intuition and divine source. And for other people like me, it's the opposite. And oftentimes I'm floating around in the ethers and I'm not as grounded as I can be. But I have some Virgo in my chart that likes to be grounded and practical. So there's that balance for me between the flow and the creativity and then the grounded structuredness. So I do know for myself personally, you know, I'm being called to be a little bit more structured right now, especially with the Capricorn full moon, which that's Julia's wheelhouse, not mine. But so pay attention. Are you too structured? Are you not as structured as you could be? Are you connected, you know, too much to above, below, whatever? Anyway, so you're going to want to find that sweet spot for yourself, right? So that's obstacle energy. And then we move to the answer outcome advice card, which is Rise and Shine. And we had this card last month. So, you know, go back and reflect on, if you were with us last month, what was the message of the Rise and Shine card for you? And then the fact that it's, you know, it's moved now up into an exalted position in the fifth card is, did you step into that ability for you to rise and shine into what you're here to express at this time? Do you still not feel like you're there yet? Maybe there's a little bit more tweaking to do or whatever, but you know, if you just tune into your energy field and your body and you just correct your posture, you know, elongate your spine and you breathe in your personal essence and you're just in an awesome state. Last month we had the power card and the helpful energy. So just a lot of empowerment energy is what I'm seeing. So I know that was fast. I hope that you got something that you can work with and take into some form of action. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Julia, as I mute myself.
Thank you, Jill. Yeah, I am so glad you brought up the depth that you did in Shaman dreaming. Yes, to all that. Yeah, so we'll take a breath and I'm going to just drop us in more as the overall reading for this, starting with the first card unfolding. In community right now, and with the clients that I'm working with, and people I'm talking to in general, a lot of people are at a crossroad. And I love this image because it is a cross, right? A lot of people are at a crossroad and there's a lot of fear around a crossroad. It's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of, am I going to make a mistake? What choice do I need to make? And truth is, there are no mistakes, there are only choices. And yes, every choice has a consequence. But we also can't be stuck at the crossroad and not make a choice, right? So the unfolding invites us to come to that center, know that you are a holistic being of mind, body, spirit, and dance through the crossroad. Be in the flow, be in the dance with life that takes you through to make the choice that you need to make at this time, or it's the choice that you're going to make. It's not even a needful thing as much as it is the need to make a choice and to dance through that, to be in the flow with the road that you're going to take at this crossroad. And I think it's super important to really access your inner knowing for this. I did a study recently on crossroads and I cannot find the source. It's so unfortunate that I can't find the source. And I've done a deeper study looking for the source, but and and if I find it again, I will note it, but it said that in a crossroad is, there are 4 things: spirit, self, nature, and knowledge. And that those 4 aspects are so important in navigating the crossroad. So for what that's worth. The 2 center cards tie in beautifully with all of this, and where we are galactically, because the full moon was this morning, Monday, July 7th, 2023. And as Jill mentioned, it is the Capricorn full moon, and it was at 11 degrees. The sun, meaning the opposite, 11 degrees Capricorn is where the moon was, means that the sun is 11 degrees Cancer. We're in Cancer season. And it soon will be passing into or approaching the 13 degree, which is the fixed star Sirius. Sirius star is our star's, our sun's star, or our sun's sun. And so this card, StarLight Essence, has her right at the galactic center. And if we align with the idea of our sun's sun and just the visual that you might get from that, accessing those light codes, that energy to access your own inner knowing, self, the knowledge, nature in and of itself, because all of these cards speak of nature in one way or another. And coming into that heart space, that Anahata, the unstruck part of us, and to activate that beautiful light right there at that heart space and allow it to glow and grow and to fill you and to burst out all around you to be luminous. And as Jill had mentioned, sometimes we're a little bit afraid of our own light, right? But if we allow that light to shine, it illuminates that true essence of who we are. So the helpful energy talks about shaman dreaming, and Jill brought that up beautifully. It was exactly what I was going to mention, that if you have never done a shamanic journey, either to the lower world, the middle world, or the upper world, I would invite you to do a little research or reach out to one of us, and we will help guide you into a journey work. And there's a difference between journey work and meditation. All of that we can talk about if you have questions around that. But what I wanted to bring up, since Jill brought all of that up, the shamanic journeying, the medicine woman, or what medicine man, that's the shaman, the one that contains the magic for the community, is the individual who made this card is very much works with ancestral work. And these cards, like Jill brought up, really bring in the out there, the cosmos world, the cosmic realm. This asks us to root really deep. And there's something so beautiful when you think about your ancestors and the roots and getting really grounded and rooted. Like, our roots are connected just as the matrix of roots in the ground are with our ancestors. Good, bad, indifferent matters not. There is a rooting with them right there. And I believe that those ancestors are rooting, a different root, are cheering us on in this life. Like, we came here at this most auspicious time, and they set the groundwork, and I use that word literally and figuratively, for us to shine, to bring the healing for the past and to create a better future. The obstacle card, I love this. I love that it was Jill's daughter that created this card. I always think of that when it comes up for me in a reading. But for this reading, when I brought up the essence of who we are, that Anahata, that unstruck place, that part of us, at the moment of conception, there is a spark that takes place. It's science, it's true. And so I believe that that spark is the place, the light within us that will never go out. A lot of people feel like their light has gone out or that it's just not there. It's always there. There are ways to illuminate it and make it grow. And so that is us at a primal source. Where is your light? Check your light. Ignite your light. You are a spark. You are the light and you are the spark at the same time. That was your gift at the moment of conception. That is the divine God, goddess coming together and bringing you into form into the seen world. There you are. And the beauty is the outcome. We get to then choose in this crossroad to rise and shine, right? However that looks and feels for you, that is what we get to do. You know, a lot of people say, well, what is my purpose in life? Rise and shine. And it all comes back down to how you dance, that cosmic, earthly, delicious dance of who you are. I love, love, love this spread, Jill. I think it is so powerful. Just delicious.
Thank you. I love everything you share. So, all right. So again, the invitation is back to you. Consider at this point pausing it, look over any notes that you took, look at the cards, see if any additional messages or insight. There's a wisdom in these cards that's speaking with your inner wisdom, and that could come out with some journaling, contemplation. So just as a practical thing, right? We want to take any information or insight from the cards, and then we want to put it in a way that, you know, can be useful in the physical world. So since action is a huge part of this, and we see a lot of movement with the cards here, you know, what are some practices that you can incorporate into a sacred foundation? Some people do have a movement type of dance. Julia and I are both conscious dance facilitators. So movement is a big part of our sacred foundation. Doesn't have to be everybody's, but it's an invitation to explore some, you know, movement. People like Tai Chi or Qigong or, you know, some type of flowing yoga. You may want to consider as part of your sacred foundation, incorporating that into your practice. Or if it was part of your practice and that went by the wayside, you might want to consider, you know, engaging in that type of an activity at this time. One more thing that I didn't mention, and I was thinking while Julia was sharing her interpretation of the cards, is, you know, we've got connection in this card, of course, but there's also a nourishment card. There's an umbilical cord here receiving nourishment. So are you nourishing your body, mind, and spirit? If that's an area in your life that could, you know, use some improvement, are you getting enough sleep? Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating enough nourishing foods? Are you maintaining healthy boundaries and putting on your own oxygen mask first? You know, that could be some energy that is keeping you out of the greatest of alignment to rise and shine. So we always want you to take some tangible action steps, you know, even if that action is sitting in stillness and in stillness and receiving automatic writing and like whatever. We want you to take it into a practical application to assist you with your sacred foundation. So with that said, I cannot think of anything else to add other than watch this video as often as you feel will be beneficial to you. And we hope that it serves you well on your journey. Julia, anything else? I'm going to stop the share. Anything else you want to add?
Beautiful, just beautiful. No, thank you. Thank you.
All right, so now the fun part. How do I stop recording? I think I found it. All right, everybody, happy July, happy Independence Day for those in the United States, whatever that looks like and means for you, and blessings to everyone.